Are you a divine feminine on the twin flame journey? And perhaps you might be the chaser in your dynamic. And right now you're feeling really overwhelmed by the journey. You feel like what you're doing is leading you farther away from union or even yourself. Or perhaps you're really angry and really frustrated with your divine masculine because you feel like he's not doing the work. And there's this part of you that just really wants to walk away, but yet there's this part of you that says you can't. And is there a part of you that's now realizing that you need to do something different? If you said yes to any of those things, or perhaps even all of those things, then I invite you to join me into today's video. Because in today's video, we're going to be diving into 4 things that you can do to help create a deeper connection within yourself and within your dynamic. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Melissa, and this is a sacredness within you, where I am helping individuals heal on the planet and tapping into that sacredness that lies within each and every one of us. And right now, where I'm in terms of how I'm supporting individuals, I'm feeling a really strong call to support the divine feminines that would be the chaser. So very similar to me, in helping move past all of this frustration, all of this anger, the resentment, feeling lost or overwhelmed in our journey, and come into a deeper connection with ourselves, with God, and with our divine masculine. And I am a Reiki energy healer, so I will be sharing videos each week to help you clear some energies within you and your divine masculine, and also within you. And I'm just here to guide you to your path on this journey. Because if you're into human design, I am a 3-5 emotional projector. So the 3-5 of me loves to experience life in all ways, which is why I have been on this journey for 7 years. And truth be told, I think 2 years after meeting my divine masculine, we almost came back into union. But looking back, I now know why, because I always knew there was a different way to journey this journey. And I needed to go through all that I could, because I've learned what doesn't work and I've learned what works. And I'm just here to share that wisdom with you. And I encourage you to take what you know and what resonates with you, so that feeling that is your truth, and take that with you on your journey and apply it to your journey. Allow this to propel you forward in your journey, because honestly, unless if you're a 3-5, then I encourage you to follow that part of you. But if you're not, then learning things the hard way is taking everyone too long, whether it's your journey of awakening or your relationship with money or the twin flame journey. We're at a time as in an evolution as human beings that we need to let that belief go. And so I really encourage you to do that. And as a projector, I am here to guide you. I'm here to guide you to those things that work, especially if they're resonating with you. If you're feeling some resistance within you, I encourage you to sit with that and to see what it is that is coming up, because a lot of times it's coming from the ego or coming from a place of us that is afraid to move forward. And everything that I share is what I've experienced on my own personal journey, because I've had healers and coaches that I have worked with to help me remember my truth. And that's what I want to be able to do for you, because right now, where I'm in my journey, I am living my best life ever to this point in my journey. I'm living my best life. I am creating all the financial stability, emotional stability, spiritual stability, mental, emotional, all of those areas have been creating a very stable foundation in my journey. And I am doing all of the things that my soul wants me to do while being deeply in love with myself, by being deeply in love with my masculine, and being really content and happy and at peace with everything that unfolds in my journey. And honestly, like, truth be told, I want as many feminines on this journey to feel this way. And some of you might think that meeting my twin 7 years ago and still not being in union, you're probably thinking, why should I listen to her? Or she's not in union yet. Why would I take advice? Because I will tell you where I'm at right now. I want you to get here, because this is the bridge between where you are and union. And where I am in my journey, I am really content and I'm really happy. And I'm happy for my DM and what it is that he is doing and what it is that he has overcome. And trusting in myself, trusting in him, and trusting in God in a really, really deep way. And if I think about it, if I wouldn't have taken those 7 years to get to where I am today, I wouldn't be able to share what it is that I have learned. Because for a really long time, probably for like the last 4 to 6 months, I've been feeling this shift coming in the twin flame community, in the twin flame collective. Because I've always felt how we are navigating this journey is taking us too long. And some of it is the misinformation that is given to individuals. Some of it is us rejecting parts of us and abandoning parts of us, that inner knowing that we know about our journey, and following what other people say. And I get it. I have done it all. I have followed many like teachers, many twin flame gurus, and I have listened and applied things to my life thinking that was the way, all the while avoiding my inner knowing, because I always think that people that have been on the journey longer than me, that have more experience or maybe more education, whatever it may be, whatever I tell myself, that I need to listen to them, and I end up abandoning myself, which I did early on in my journey. And I realized that, and I knew I needed to come back to myself. And when I did, I lost a lot of friends that were on the twin flame path. And I have always, since finding out about this journey, a year and a half after I met my divine masculine is when I found out about this journey, I changed how I did things, and it led me farther away from him. And I want to teach you some of those things today that I learned that I shouldn't do. And perhaps you're doing those things right now as well. And I want you to know that everything that you have experienced up until this time has been absolutely perfect, because there are probably things that you have learned in those experiences that you had. You learned about yourself, you learned about this connection, you learned about your divine masculine. So everything is perfect. Try to let go of any shame, judgment, or blame, or whatever is wanting to come up when you open up to learning a different way of doing things. And I just want to say thank you for taking the time to be willing to listen to what it is that I'm going to share. And what I'm going to share may be applicable to your journey right now. Perhaps maybe it's something later on. But listen to your guidance. Listen to your truth. What is it that your soul is wanting you to follow? And so I want to talk about 4 different things today that really helped me on my path. And I want to talk about what I did and when I had the realization, and then what kind of things did I do and what changes did it create within me and within my connection. So about 4 years ago, yeah, maybe roughly around that. No, maybe 5 years ago, because I was still living in Cabo. And it was like, yeah, about 2 years before I moved back to the US, and I've been back to the US for 3 years. So about 5 years ago, I had discovered incredible teachers, Jill and Remy. And in one of their sessions, healing sessions that I had purchased from them, they had talked about seeing your divine masculine as you. And I know all of us are very aware that we are the same soul in two different bodies, and there's a lot of similarities that happen between us. And that they are them and we are them. You know, we all know that at the logical level. But sometimes at the subconscious level, we see things differently, because remember, everything that is happening between us is from the subconscious mind. And that's where our 90% of our daily habits, everything that we do comes from that place. And it's our responsibility to change that. And we have this beautiful person that is showing us this part of us. And when I heard Jill say, whatever it is that you see within your divine counterpart, whether you are the masculine or the feminine, it's an opportunity for you to say, where do I still have that within me? Because whatever it is that you can see in your divine counterpart and your divine masculine, that still lies within you. So I want to give you a couple examples. Early on in my journey, when I was in relationship with him, we had a relationship for about 7 months. I had him on a pedestal. My typical pattern in any relationship was to put my counterpart on a pedestal. And what I realized was I put them on the pedestal because they had all these incredible qualities that I wanted to have. And I oftentimes thought that they were better than me because they had these qualities. What I learned by putting my divine masculine on the pedestal was that all the things that I saw in him, which were abundant, I thought he was extremely attractive and sexy. I thought he was intelligent and wise. I thought he was an incredible leader and had this incredible ability to just foresee things in the future. All these things about him. And what I realized after realizing that whatever I saw in him was also within me, I needed to say, wow, how can I start seeing myself as wise, as an incredible leader? How can I start seeing myself as attractive and sexy? How can I tap into my abundant self? He was showing me all of those things that lie within me, and I just couldn't see them. And what I thought was, oh, I need to take him off of that pedestal, right? And bring him down towards me. And then there was this part of me that was like, no. Take him off the pedestal. He's still there above me. What is it that I need to do to propel myself up there versus bringing him down here? Because we're constantly pulling one another up to being the highest, the best versions of ourselves. And I want you to think about all the things that have happened between you and your divine masculine. Some things very painful, some things that you said that you might regret. And I want you to take a moment and think about one of the worst things that you have ever done to your divine masculine, without any judgment, without any shame, without any of that guilt, and just see it for what it is. And now think about how much that person loves you to continue to come back, to help pull you up to who it is that you are today. And how is it that you can start giving him gratitude, giving your divine masculine gratitude for what it is that they have shown you about yourself. And the other thing too, if we go and look to the other side of things, I'm just looking at my notes. I write things down before I create videos. Is when you are mad at him, or perhaps there's something that you don't like about him, let's say like maybe he, I don't know, like the word that wants to come out is like he cheats. There's third party energy. And a lot of times we blame the divine masculine for the third party energy, when really, for some of us, that third party energy lies within us, meaning like it's embedded in our DNA, it's coded into our cells, and it's our responsibility to clear that. But also, too, if he's choosing, your divine masculine, he or she, I should say, is choosing another individual, you can look at it and say, where am I not choosing myself? Because if the divine masculine is choosing another woman, you're not choosing yourself. But also, too, you can take it a one step further if you're already saying, okay, I'm choosing myself, but where is it that you're not choosing union? Where are you still entertaining other people, other situations? Perhaps you're still sleeping around as well. And instead of thinking he needs to change, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, where is it that I need to change? Because oftentimes we project our stuff out onto the divine masculine, when it's our responsibility to do what it is that we need to do to heal ourselves. All right. The second thing I want to talk about is allowing the masculine to lead. It was like 2 years ago, I was at the bus stop and I received this download. I was like, shoo, and it like hit me like a ton of bricks, where I was shown and told that the divine masculine has always been leading this dynamic from the very beginning, always. Because the divine masculine is leading us, divine feminines, to all the parts of us that we don't want to see, all the parts of us that we don't want to accept, all the parts of us that we don't want to heal, that shadow aspect of ourselves that we want to keep hidden. We don't want anybody to see it, right? Well, the divine masculine is very wise. And because this is an energetic dance that we do with them, the divine masculine knows exactly where it is that he needs to trigger you to heal. And in the collective, and when I first started this journey, I would hear this everywhere. Oh, the divine feminine is leading the dynamic. She's the awakened one. She knows more about this journey than he does. She's doing all the healing, so she's leading it. Drop a comment below if you have heard that and if you fell into that trap, because I know I did. And I thought I knew it all. I thought I knew what was best for this dynamic. I tried to awaken him. I tried to do everything I could to control it, right? Because I wanted to control everything that happened in this dynamic, because I didn't want him to see those parts of me. I didn't want him to show me those parts of me. But I learned that my divine masculine is very wise. Very, very wise. And he knows subconsciously just where to trigger me in ways that have created huge catalysts in terms of changing myself. And I know some of you, because I remember when I received this download, I was like, no way in hell am I going to let him lead me. I can't trust him. I can't allow myself to open up to my divine masculine in that way. And I had to look at all the resistance that was within me. I had to face that. I had to just sit with it and feel it, because as the divine feminines, we feel things deeply, and to feel whatever was coming up and allow it to be there. Because what I learned is that if it's there, it's coming up to be released so it can be let go. But if you're not trusting your masculine, remember your masculine is a reflection of you. And I keep shaking my finger like this. I don't know why. But he is a reflection of you. So if you can't trust your divine masculine, Where is it that you're not trusting your inner masculine, right? Because if you're not trusting the outer masculine, you're not trusting the inner masculine. So what healing needs to happen within you so you can start trusting your inner masculine, where you can start opening up to your inner masculine and creating this dance and this harmony between our inner masculine and our inner feminine, because that's what we're trying to work towards first, is that union of self, bringing these two energies within us together, healing what has happened between our inner feminine and our inner masculine. Because if you're anything like me, most likely you have been living from your masculine energy for most of your life. I mean, I spent over 2 decades in my masculine energy. And my masculine energy has done a lot of things that my inner feminine my inner masculine would have done differently. But it's what I experienced because that's what I chose to experience. And now I get to learn from it. And the other thing too, I noticed once, before I had realized that I needed to allow him to lead, and I was trying to lead the dynamic, what I was always doing was looking at from a lens of criticism, like pointing out what it is that he's doing wrong, like judging him for what it was that he wasn't doing versus what he should be doing, and trying to tell him what he needed to do. And when I was in that state, when I was thinking I knew it all, and I'm the awakened one, right? So I must know it all. And I'm the divine feminine. I'm supposed to be leading this journey. I missed out on valuable medicine that he was showing me and that he was giving me about how much he loves me without saying those words. Because remember, the masculine is about action. Actions. And I would always tell him, actions speak louder than words. And what's funny is, even though I was saying that, I wasn't seeing it. And he was showing me through action. And once I started realizing that I needed to listen to his words, but also see things through his actions, that I really started to see a difference within him. Because what I realized was, if I could change, it meant that he could change as well. But I had to open up to allowing him to change, and to change in the ways that were in alignment with him and what it is that he believed was right for him, and to trust him in that, because he has given me all the space that I need to heal and grow, because he trusts in me in knowing that I would follow my inner knowing, follow whatever path I needed to follow to learn what it is I needed to learn. And I realized I needed to do that for him as well. So where is it that you can stop focusing on what he's not doing right and finding all these faults in him? And where can you start opening up to seeing what it is that he is doing right? How has he changed? How is he showing you that he loves you? Or perhaps saying that he loves you? What words is he saying that is helping you, guide you, but you're not listening to it? Because what I've learned is a lot of masculines are really good at foresight. They can foresee things, and they say some things without even really knowing why or understanding that they have this ability. And as a feminine energy, I feel things coming, like I can feel something's coming down the pipeline for me. I can feel it. And I have always been really great at this. Sometimes I can have foresight and see things, but it comes from this feeling. All right. The third thing that I realized I needed to do if I wanted to shift things within me and within my divine masculine and my connection was I needed to improve my relationship with God. And so I want to share with you a little story and why this is important and how I realized this. Was when I first met my twin, I had no idea about the twin flame journey. I had no idea that it existed. I just knew that I was looking for this love that I know that I would only find in one person. And each person I went through was like, nope, 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 nope. And I went through a lot of people. And I was like, this is not it. This is not it. And then once I finally listened to my intuition and allowed it to guide me to him, when I found him, I was like, this is what I've been looking for. And at that time, I was a pretty devoted Christian. I believed in God. I had this relationship with God. I would pray to God every day. But my relationship with God was external, meaning I felt like I needed to pray to God to get what it is I needed to receive in life, or I had to do things right in order to get what it is that I desired. And I felt like if I didn't get what I wanted, was because I did something wrong or I wasn't good enough. That's how I took on Christianity. So in the very beginning of my journey, I was praying to God all the time. I would go to the beach every day. I would talk to God and I would receive guidance in terms of how to navigate my life, what was I needed to change and do, and what were the next steps I needed to do with my connection with my divine masculine. And when it was brought to my attention through an old coworker that I was on this path, like a year and a half after I met my divine masculine, I was still deeply connected to God, but not in the way that I am today. And I would talk to her how I would pray to God, I would receive this guidance, and she was like, oh, I don't believe in God, I don't think that's really important, blah, 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 blah. And now where I'm at, I say God, universe, source, energy, spirit, to me, they're all the same. And she didn't even believe like really in any of those other things. Like she believed in the universe and stuff like that, but she didn't really believe in God, this overarching energy that was supporting all of the universe. And we all have our own beliefs, totally fine. So as I started learning about this journey, I noticed a lot of the people believe the same thing. So I was like, well, maybe I'm not supposed to believe in God anymore. And I walked away from God. And at the time when I was really connected to God, I was really deeply connected actually to my divine masculine as well. We would see each other all the time. We had a really great relationship. We have had a really great relationship probably 90% of our journey. And we were there constantly showing each other the way. And I noticed once I started separating myself from God, looking back, I saw this. I looked and I was like, oh my gosh, once I started separating myself from God, I was no longer praying to God. I was no longer connecting to God. That my dynamic between myself and my divine masculine started to have that same space and that same distance. And it wasn't until I heard from Jill and Raimi. I give a lot of credit to them because they have helped me find that true path for me, just like I want to be able to do for you and to teach you all these things that I have learned about the journey. Once I realized that I needed to work on creating my own holy trinity, so my relationship with myself in relationship to God, and then my relationship to my divine masculine, and then my divine masculine's relationship to God. We create this holy trinity amongst the three of us. I started learning that through books that I read. Like I read Conversations with God, really incredible series. There's 3 books that helped me understand this journey of life that we are on, but also too how God envisioned the connection with us. And Jill would always say that we are sparks of God. And it really resonated with me, and I didn't realize what that meant until I read the books Conversation with God, because I also feel like there's different things that we're led to help us find that remembrance. And oftentimes we resist it because we know subconsciously that things are going to change once we go down this path. And I had these books for a really long time. And I finally read them and it changed everything. And I realized that I'm an extension of God. God created me as a soul, as a part, we branch off of God and we become this soul, this energy of God. and we decide to incarnate wherever it is that we incarnate in the universe, whether it's in other planets, other galaxies, on planet Earth, we volunteer to come here, whatever it may be, we are deeply connected to God because we are here to remember on planet Earth that we are here to connect to our God-like self. We get to create our reality. We get to create this game of life that we are playing here on planet Earth. And we forget all of this when we come into existence. And through our life, we get to rediscover this parts of ourselves. And sometimes it's pretty amazing. And sometimes it's not so amazing, right? Like when you're in the trenches of things, it's not so amazing. But when you get to the other side of that very deep valley that you're in, is really amazing, and you get to be really grateful and thankful for what it is that you have experienced, because all of these experiences are helping you remember, helping you tap into that God-like self. So now I work on opening up to the energy of God. Like God to me feels like a very masculine energy, leading me and reminding me of who I am as a co-creator of my reality. And then what I mean by that is, by my thoughts, God says, okay, our thoughts are energy, remember, and God is an energy. I'm going to grant you that wish, basically. You want to constantly be worried about money? I'm going to let you worry about money. Okay, fine, you keep doing that. God, you say to yourself, like you realize and you're embodying this beautiful, abundant energy. God says, all right, I'm going to bless you with abundance, whether you think that's universe, source energy, or spirit, whatever. It's all the same for me. And so it is. And we're here to remember that. And for me, I think of Mother Earth as the feminine energy. We get to dance between these two energies that we have on the, with Mother Earth and with God. Like, well, that's why when we go out into nature, we feel so connected because of that nurturing energy that she brings us. And so how can you start doing that within your dynamic, creating that holy trinity where you're opening up perhaps to God first, opening up to this energy of creation and allowing this energy to move through you and be part of you and who you are. Ooh, when I'm looking at it, it says 111. Because as feminines, we birth and we create. So where is it in your dynamic? You need to help birth and create a new beginning. Like where is it that maybe you are the one that needs to take the first step in creating a change within your dynamic? Because I see so many of you, and I was once there, pointing the finger at the masculine, they're doing this, like so angry, right? I mean, I can remember being on the phone one day with him, and I was so mad. I hung up the phone, and I set my cell phone down. I was so mad. I was like, I'm done with you. And I dropped several F-bombs, I've been there. But I had to look at those triggers and say, what is it that he's trying to show me about myself? So how can you open up to God and receiving God's love, receiving God's grace, receiving that wisdom and knowledge from that energy? I just want to make sure I talked about everything. All right. The last thing that I want to talk about, I already started talking about, and that's about us feminines. We are the birthers. If that's even a word. We are the creators. Everything moves and is created through the feminine energy. And so think of it in terms of your masculine is leading you, right? He's leading you, showing you things about yourself. How can you, at this very moment, no matter where you are in your journey, find one thing to be grateful for in regards to your divine masculine? What is one thing? I want you to drop it down in the comments below. What is one thing that you are grateful for your divine masculine? Not to brag, but I could rattle off so many different things. And I had messaged him last week, actually, because I had that realization that I was constantly having expectations of him. He needs to show up this way. He needs to show up that way. If he's not showing up this way, then I don't want him in my reality. And I wasn't opening up to him to show up in his authenticity of where he was at in his journey. And to realize that where he was at in his journey was absolutely perfect. It was perfect for me. It was perfect for him. And to really trust in that and to let go of expectations. I know it's really hard for some of us, but I was talking on my Instagram page. If you don't follow me over there, I'm at Sacredness Within You on Instagram. I share a little bit more about my daily life. I talk about some insights that I receive and stuff like that. But one of the things that I realized, if I had all these expectations for him, it didn't create space for him to show up, to show me who he was. Because perhaps he's changed over the last couple months. Energetically, I know that. I can feel it. But I'm not giving him an opportunity to come into my 3D reality and show me that. Because I think, oh, you can only be this, this, or this. And to allow him to show up, because when he shows up, he's actually showing me more parts of me. And maybe he wants to show up and show me something really incredible. But because I was focused on his faults and focused on thinking he's not ready, this or that, whatever it is that you're saying about him, he can't show up and show you maybe something really beautiful about himself or about this journey or about yourself. And in order to get to that place, we have to be willing to do things differently. So think about in your journey, like what has worked for you? What has not worked for you? And what types of limiting beliefs have you taken on regarding this journey that you need to let go of and really start to embrace and do things differently? To be open to doing something differently. To create something different. Because Einstein always says, like, if you do the same thing every time and expect the same result, that's insanity. So where are you being insane in your journey? I know when I looked at various areas of my journey, I was like, oh my God, I kept repeating the same patterns over and over and over, expecting a different result. I've done it in various areas of my life. And our soul is giving us, and God is giving us this opportunity time and time again to choose differently. So where is it in your journey that you're needing to choose differently? For some of you, and I know this may trigger some of you, because I remember when I received this, I was like, God, you're crazy. Was you need to be the one to open up to love first. You're the one that needs to let your guard down and allow yourself to receive him, to receive God, to receive your divine masculine, and to open up to that love, that understanding, that compassion, that nurturing energy that the divine feminine brings to her life, but to the lives of others. And obviously, I'm not saying if your divine masculine is doing very toxic things that, that they're still learning for the both of you to do. But I feel like some of you are so mad because you feel like he's not doing the work. You're feeling stuck in your dynamic. I would encourage you to say to yourself, where am I stuck in my journey? Where am I not doing the work in my journey? Because he's just showing you that. And what he's not doing the work in and what you can see, it might be the same for you, or it could be something completely different. But where is it that you can open up to him a little bit more? Where is it that you can open up and say, okay, I'm going to trust because I'm learning to trust within my own inner masculine? Where is it that I can start submitting, being more submissive to my divine counterpart? Not meaning that we're weak, not meaning that we're obedient, but allowing Him to lead. But where is it that you can open up your heart more to Him? Where is it that you can open up your energy field to Him? Because remember, if you are not attracting Him into your reality, it means that you are repelling Him. I want that to sink in a little bit. So if you're not attracting Him into your reality, it also means that you are repelling Him. Remember, this is an energetic dance. This dynamic of push and pull, and we're here to try to balance out these energies within us and between us. And for some of you, right now, you may not be attracting Him into your reality. And this is for some of you, so take what resonates. Because He's divinely protecting you from something. Because the masculine is very wise. He knows when to come forward. He knows when he needs to stay away. He knows when he needs to protect you. He knows when he needs to lead you. Because one of the things I've always known in my journey for a really long time was I needed to be a soft place for Him to land. I knew that I would be the one that would birth Him back to life. After all the wounds and all the wars, all the battles He's been fighting. Think about that for a moment. How many battles do you know of that your divine masculine is facing? Those inner demons, the inner voices, we all have them, right? Remember, everything that you go through, He goes through the exact same thing, but His own version of it. And how can you hold space for Him? How can you hold compassion for Him for what it is that He's going through? One example that comes to my mind is a lot of the DMs are in very toxic, very tumultuous third-party dynamics. Now I want you to think about your karmic. For many of us, we met our karmic before we met our divine masculine. My karmic took me through hell and back. So I know what it is that I experienced with my karmic. So I know what it's like for him to go through what it is that he is going through. And to have compassion for him, to hold space for him to heal, to hold space for him to rise up to the masculine that you know that is within him, right? Because you can see it. He can't quite see it yet. So you're trying to pull him up, just like he is pulling you up. So we do this dance, like I was saying, of pulling one another up to the highest, best versions of ourselves. So how can you do that for him? How can you open your heart and connect to him? How can you connect soul to soul? That's some of the medicine that you need to be able to bring into your dynamic. Some of you need to be able to sit with his soul, sit with his energy, receive the energy. And these are the things that I teach my clients in terms of helping to come into union of self. And how can you start to energetically receive your divine masculine and feel safe with that energy? So you can open up and really blossom into this beautiful energy. That energy that brings him peace. Because you are the peace that is within you. And if you don't have that peace within you, that's part of the inner work that you are needing to do. So beautiful souls, I wanted to share these things with you because these are the things that really helped me on my journey. And I could go on and on about these things. And I would love to be able to hear from you because one of the things that I'm feeling really called to do, like I mentioned before, is to really start supporting the divine feminines on the journey, particularly ones that are in this place of negativity. They're blaming everything on the divine masculine, and I get it, it's all valid. But if you're wanting to move through that, if you're wanting to move through that, then I encourage you to hit the subscribe button and get connected and watch videos. I'm going to be bringing more videos around these things and how to create a deeper connection within yourself, within within God, within you and your divine masculine, and how is it that you can start really creating the life that you desire. Because I want as many divine feminines to get to where it is that I am at. And for those people that are new on the journey, I don't want it for you. I don't want it to take you 7 years to create this harmony within yourself. I want it to happen like in 2 years or 3 years, whatever it is, because we have the ability to change things. We have free will. And some of us are being encouraged to utilize that free will and say, nope, I am no longer willing to do this. I am going to choose this instead because this is what's in highest alignment for me. So it's in highest alignment for my dynamic. And so hit the subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up. So then that way others that are on the journey can find this video as well. And I would love to be able to hear from you, to see how it is that I can support you. What are things that you're really struggling with? This is an opportunity for you to be really vulnerable, to open up to receiving a new way. And if I trigger you, I'm sorry, but not sorry, because I just gave you a beautiful gift to see a part of you that is wanting to be seen, to be accepted, to be healed and loved. And sometimes we have to let that part go. Sometimes we are here to integrate that back into us. So drop a comment below. So then that way I know how it is that I want to support you. And so right now I offer one-on-one healing and coaching sessions for those that are on the path. I am in the process of creating a self-paced course on diving more into this work and giving you very specific exercises and tools to help you get to where it is that I am in my journey. Because where I am, I want you to feel that way, like deep in my heart and within my soul. Like I want you to feel this way. And I want you to be living your best life without him. Because that's part of our journey, is creating this beautiful life for ourselves. Because let's be honest, divine feminines, a lot of us haven't ever had that. We thought we had this great life. Like thinking back before I awakened, I thought, oh, I have such a great life. No, I didn't. And to where I am now versus where I was, I want that for so many of you. And I know that it's possible, because if I can do it, if I was willing to take a leap of faith and say, I need to start doing things differently in my journey, so can you. And I promise you, on the other side of that fear, the other side of that unknown is going to be incredible things. But I am working on putting together a self-paced course specifically for those of you that are feeling really upset at your divine masculine. You think you're stuck in this journey, he's not doing the inner work, all that kind of stuff. And some of that might be true. And all of it is valid. And if you're wanting to dive more into this work, I'm creating a course right now. It's about cultivating harmony within you and your connection. And we're going to be diving deeper into things of, like what limiting beliefs around the twin flame journey do you need to let go of? Like separation, following all these phases, in the journey. What types of beliefs have you taken on? All those kinds of things, and how to let those go. And to really start learning how to tap into that inner knowing, that little voice, that soft voice that is always guiding you. And some of you are abandoning it because you're so tapped into these wrong teachings, for lack of better words. We're going to dive into some inner work for your inner child. We're going to dive into what is that anger and resentment that you have towards your divine masculine, really showing you about you. We're going to dive more into these things that I talked about today. So if any of this is resonating with you, we're going to dive deeper into those teachings. So then that way you can learn to build trust within yourself even more, build trust within your divine masculine, within your dynamic, to really be able to surrender and let go in this journey, to be like, you know what, whatever is happening is going to be in my highest alignment for me, because it's showing me parts of me. And then I'll talk about some daily practices that I do, and some embodiment practices, so you can really start tapping into that feminine energy that is within you. And so I will be offering a discount on this before I launch it. So it's in the birthing phase right now. I have everything written down. I just need to start creating the videos. And so in the birthing phase of it, I'll be offering a discount. Once I have that ready, I will have it up on my website for you to be able to purchase with the discount. Once it goes live, it will go up to the regular pricing. Right now, I am just sitting with myself and God and really feeling into what it is that I should be, what price I should be offering this. And so I will link down below in my description box all the things that are available. And my friends, I'm so proud of you for doing this work. I am so honored that you took the time to really listen and absorb what resonates with you and really start applying this to your journey, because this journey doesn't have to be painful. It doesn't have to be hard. And I think because of everything that's been going on in the collective, it has been that way for many of us. And so now it's time for you to let all of that go. And so I'm sending you all so much love and light, and I look forward to connecting with you in the next video.